love how you feel. You feel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 9 plant protein bars, 8 hydration mixes, and 4 mushroom coffee sticks. And now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text RADIO to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's RADIO to 64,000. Want to be in the know all the time? Download the free Keel News app and stay up to date on all that's happening in the Arklatex. You can even listen to Mike and McCarty on demand. Get the Keel News app today, powered by Watertight Roofing. Call 318-671-ROOF for roofing done right. For roofing done right, call Watertight.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Did you know that when it snows, my eyes become wide and alive? You ready, Nitty?
Police on the scene of major accident with injuries, I-49 northbound at
All right.
Columbia Street. And if you see something else slowing traffic, call the traffic hotline 318-687-ROAD. Yesterday. I don't think we're going to do that today. In fact, we're not going to do it at all this week. Good chances for showers and storms are in the forecast, especially from Wednesday on. Sunshine here today with a slight chance of showers and storms. 89, 74 tonight. A few showers and thunderstorms around.
And then we'll see how long it makes it.
89. Other chances of storms that move inside. Picture the weather as a weather channel. This week, someone is winning cash. And next week, and the week after that. Hi, I'm Joe Arnold, CEO of Carter Credit Union. As part of our celebration, America's 200th birthday, Carter Credit Union has been giving away real cash every week. That's part you are spending. That's $250 you spend with your Carter Credit Union debit or credit card. Earns you an estimated cash, groceries, coffee, online shopping, it all adds up. And then,
hold still, Nitty. Sorry.
One Carter member
Sorry,
is going to
Nitty.
take home a jaw-dropping $25,000. That's right, $25,000.
Don't want to go in front of the truck, though, Nitty. That would have
do with that kind of money.
been bad.
The only question is, will it be you?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, now we're ready, Nitty. You want the window? Oh, goodness. We got people. What? Screwed up, Nitty.
I like to be accountable. No, I went on record saying I thought that it would be Fleming and it would be Cassidy. So in many ways, I missed
Cassidy. I don't know what he's talking about. I thought he said Dick. Not interested in the window.
Senator hasn't won the nomination, so the Cassidy not making it, we all know why, but that's still pretty historic. And then, of course, the shocker thing to be completely honest was the Letlow number. I figured if she got in, she would have squeezed in, but she clearly overperformed what everybody thought she was going to do.
I think I wasn't surprised by the Cassidy numbers because, as Aaron can tell you, we hear it. We hear it from our listeners. He was not forgiven. He was not going to be forgiven, no matter what he said, no matter how he tried to align himself with Trump. Our listeners wasn't forgetting it.
And that's why it's not shocking in a way that Joe Cassidy does not make it surprising given the historical reference that you still, there's so much power. Look at the chart against the numbers. I'm over surprised by half of those yet. I figured that a lot of the left is 45%. And if she only gets 40%, Cassidy beats swimming. And so I think at the end of the day, a lot of Cassidy voters either didn't come out. I mean, that's or people that I just almost decided he chose anyway. They went ahead and moved over to the left vote to her that 45. But you start looking at number count percentages.
Through the school zone. Why does it keep fucking doing that?
Well, the key is it doesn't really matter if you start
There
looking
it goes
at
again.
all that low has to
Piece
do
of
is
shit
it's one in
motherfucker.
five.
That's all I can
She gets
say.
one of every 5 Cassidy voters. So she gets one of every 5 Cassidy voters, she wins. She only needs 5 more points. And so I personally think
gonna
that
disconnect
Cassidy
anyway.
voters, if they go vote, I think they will. It is going to be a June ballot. That's a challenge. But assuming they go vote, I think the majority of them, more than half, probably move to Letlow. A lot of the Fleming voters swimming this time. They are conservative. He is the most conservative candidate.
What in the fuck? Why does that keep doing that, Eddie?
I think the hard right base is in the Republican Party about a third. And I don't think that they went either Cassidy or Letlow the first round and move to Fleming in the second round. I think Dr. Fleming's going to have a really hard challenge in this second round if he chooses to go forward.
If he chooses to go forward,
Well,
that's
in politics, he's put out the press releases. He has made the statement that he's going forward. But I think any analyst, any money person, if he needs to sound his money people, I think he's going to have a
go with the money.
forward,
We're
Mike. And I know
talking
it's very
about
hard for a lot
money
of
when we're talking in
conservatives to look at
Louisiana.
But right now,
About how much
it's
money?
all odds to be on Letlow winning. Trump's not backing off his
The only thing
endorsement
that
one
makes
bit.
sense
He
to
looks
people, right?
powerful. We're looking at the impact of a closed primary and the Trump
Something that
endorsement
they
in a closed
think
primary.
that they
And
understand.
the truth is, I don't really see a path forward for Fleming. And I know it sounds hard to say.
No, I agree with what you're saying, but I don't see him conceding at this point before the June election.
Oh, I don't either. It's only for 5 weeks. But the reality is, what they're going to go do in the next 4 or 5 weeks, where does he go? They've already gone negative on Letlow. She did 45% with all the attacks. And so, and we can laugh about it, but at the end of the day, that's strong. And so
I agree.
More Republican money are on our fight to only probably batter that candidate more, because now you also have to back up one step, look over at the other ballot, which most of us did not pay attention to, on the Democratic side. But now you have a candidate that almost won outright on the Democratic side. The Democrats may have a stronger candidate over there than many people gave them credit for. And looking ahead to the final ballot in November, now that we're past Bill Cassidy, you have to start looking at who can win the election. And to be honest, the leading Democratic candidate had a quite impressive performance, could easily convalesce that Democratic vote on a day that November could be a very good day for Democrats. This could be an interesting race in November, even though we've only been paying attention to the Republican closed primary.
Okay, real quickly on the amendments, all of them go down in flames in a big way, much like what happened last year. No huge surprise to you, I guess?
No huge surprise. I think most of us felt several of them are going to lose clean on their own merit. And then the one that people really thought had a chance, to be honest, was number 4, because that's always been viewed as a bad tax. The only one that surprised me was number 4, to be honest. Number 3, the teacher pay was so controversial. Teacher unions in, teacher unions out, teachers late moved against it. I felt that was going down on its own I think number two, that is the St. George school system went down on its own merits. By the way, it failed in East Baton Rouge Parish. It would have had to pass statewide and pass an EBR, failed miserably in EBR. Probably never had a chance, given the contentiousness of the development of that school district. I think number one, that was the civil service one. In full disclosure, I sit on the Civil Service Commission. I tried to make no comment on how to vote on that before, but most people thought that was a bad one. It dealt with giving politicians the right to control classified jobs. It went down almost in record numbers, almost 80-20.
78%, yeah.
Strong no. And I think the last one people clearly understood, the judges, they said no. They think that judges should retire at 70. So Ford was the only one I think some of us were thinking had a chance. A lot of money was put in. I think people do understand it. I believe in the end we got back to, I think you said this, Aaron, people don't trust government. You can't have, and I'll say this, you can't have it both ways. You can't have a candidate, you can't have a politician that makes an endorsement in a closed primary and it's so strong that somebody gets 45% of the vote. And then that candidate and others constantly telling us that government wastes money and don't trust government. And so strong no on the Republican side. You don't get to those numbers with Republican voters. Remember, Democratic voters, African American voters only make 1/3 of the state. Low voter turnout. I think the combination of primaries and all the chaos that took place around those congressional races, we just saw low turnout. And so I'd be very curious to see. We don't do it very well. It's a very often.
Doesn't bode well for June.
We really have one thing on the ballot. We're going to have the runoff for the Republican nominee and that Democratic nominee, which should be very interesting. And ironically, both of the favorites come from Northeast Louisiana for a statewide position. That's kind of unusual.
Interesting. Well, we'll have you on again, I'm sure. It's going to be a fun month.
It will be a short August, and then the winter moves on. And then I think we did talk about it. I want to give him a shout out if I can. John Atkins won the Republican PSCC nomination, and James Green won the Democratic. So two Shreveport people will move to November and run for that open PSCC.
You bet. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you. He was Micah McCarty, 101.7 FM.
This podcast shouldn't feel like a burden. Your auto loan with Barstow Federal Credit Union. Once again.
Once again.
Once again.
Once again. Once again.
Same old stew. The same old
Two. Oh.
Play by the rules but didn't win.